landscape and greening spaces. Nilesh Gandhi is the principal architect at Meta Design India Private Limited. Nilesh was among the first few architects to attain the Global Lead AP Plus accreditation. His firm, Meta Design Architects, has played an active role in certification of new and existing buildings for its interiors. Apart from different buildings, Meta Design Architects has also worked on institutes and factories. So let's welcome Mr. Nilesh Gandhi.
Thank you. This is what we said about urban landscape. The reason why urban landscape is because the need of the hour, because of the statistics again saying that the entire rural divide is going to settle into urban cities. We will be having 40% of our population living in cities, and that is the reason why the impetus and the focus on making our cities more livable. So this is what we spoke of about reducing pollution, attending to global warming, and also the focus on electronic vehicles, reducing it. It really warms our heart when we see that in Delhi we have such a grave problem of pollution, wherein kids have had to wear masks pre-pandemic period, when we used to see that the air quality pollutions are dropping. At breathing is a fundamental right, isn't it? Why do we have to, like, living is a fundamental right? How can we be deprived of clean fresh air? How can this is the biggest fallacy, or this is the biggest failure of mankind. If they are unable to provide pure livable fresh air for one to breathe, can you imagine a scenario wherein we have to struggle for clean air? So that is something which really is sad, but there are, if we all are mindful of our actions, and we can. I will not talk more of green. Mala madam have captured enough about certifications. So that was what that is what I my thought comes when I think of landscape, and I think of plantations, and I think of these are the low hanging fruits. It doesn't cost more. All it costs is a thought. It doesn't cost tons of money to have creepers climb on your dead walls. It doesn't cost you tons of money to convert any open space that you see into green. It is a mindset, and we are so much bogged down by inertia, because we end up into a very comfort zone. Shifting from location A to location B is a pain for us, and similar is that pain for the mindset. Doing the unconventional, doing something which requires a little bit of extra effort, it needs a huge amount of push from outside and from within. The outside push is the discussions that we are having, wherein if you are able to motivate, and if you are able to encourage people to do that, but the bigger calling comes from within, and there is no looking back towards it. So that is something that is my focus of my area of working, where we promote and we advocate more and more green spaces to be happen within the urban context. And of course, green certifications is something which is a tool which is helping us for to making, as you saw an excellent case study which Mala ma'am showed about converting an existing building into green. So it is not that along with this, we also face a lot of criticism about rating system. It is not that rating system buildings were not greener or environmental friendly prior to rating systems. They always were there. Our stalwarts and our gurus have executed and designed buildings which are the epitome of sustainability. But when it comes to volume, when it comes to scale, when it comes to making it easier, then these rating systems help. They only help into providing you a tool, wherein for those who are not so much deep into sustainability, it gives you a tool to execute and make buildings more eco-friendly, or get them certified. We also get a lot of flack and questioning as to how do they help, or the costs are high. So we are also very much worried about the initial and the first cost. When during certifications we forget about the overall lifespan of the building. We are so much worried about the amount that I spent today, that I am unconcerned about the amount that I will need to spend to maintain it for its own lifespan of time. For example, when you buy a car, you always think about what is the initial cost of it. But if you calculate the amount of fuel that you are going to spend on it over the 5 year span of time, it is 10 times the value of the car. Similarly for air conditioners, similarly for anything that you talk, the operation cost is something which is we have to be keeping an eye on while we are doing. So the capex and opex model is something which is very important for us to look after. If you do that, then you are looking at anything at a holistic level. Then it is you are not having a myopic view about your purchase or your spend. You have various options for projects to certify themselves today. It started off with the USGBC, and we all know the story how it started off. 2000 USGBC started with a single building of 20,000 square feet, partnered with IGBC. Then we have TERI, we have the Secretariat who has developed the GRIA rating system, and then we have EDGE, which is a recent addition to by IFC, which is a very easy to use tool. So you name it and you choose it. You have a couple of options or 4 or 5 options for you to choose from whom you have to go seek your certification. The parameters remain the same. We are a very diverse and geographically divided country into 5 very diverse climatic zones, and there are rating systems which need to address that. So quite a bit of them do that, wherein what is relevant in Darjeeling is not relevant in Chennai. So rating systems try and address where and how we should go about designing your stuff. So, and they result into savings. That's the reason, that's what I'm saying. The operational cost has a substantial benefit, wherein the paybacks, as also Mala ma'am showed, in 3 to 4 years span of time, whatever are the initial additional costs that you spend into making your building more environment friendly or sustainable, as we call it, pays you back in a matter of 3 to 5 years time. We hear that water is a very critical resource, and we'll be fighting over water. But that is something that green buildings help in achieving efficiency by consuming less water, less energy, materials, and so they are the right thing to do today. The point is that if you are building anything and if you have a choice, the choice has to be to build in a manner wherein you are consuming the optimal resources. You don't need to you have the right to consume resources, as you have the right to live. You have the right for your fundamental rights, but you do not have the right to abuse resources. You do not have the right to consume resources which are beyond the need of that hour and the need of that project. So that is the thought which inspires us and which inspires our practice when we advocate and we say that use local materials or use something which is going to ultimately not compromise the future generations' capacity to live. So then these are the initiatives that we have to take as stakeholders, as people living. And then there are government policy initiatives. So the government at its end is doing work. It is not that they are not doing. They are trying to push. They are trying to dole out those carrots, saying that okay, if you are doing this, I'll give you an extra FAR, I'll give you property tax waiver, I'll give you a rebate on your solar panels, I'll do this and I'll do that. So those are the carrots which are being rolled for us to be attracted. But a bigger calling only comes from within. We say that do not do it for the incentive. The incentives will always be there as a topping over the cake, but that's not the cake itself. And there are obstacles. There is an obstacle of fear, there is an obstacle of awareness, there is an obstacle of how would I go about doing it. And so these forums such as these and people when you interact with and being aware about what is happening around erases those obstacles, and there are solutions wherein you can taking a little bit of extra effort, go that extra mile and live your life in a very sustainable manner where it becomes a lifestyle. It doesn't. I was into some session and someone asked me, give us a very simple example of being sustainable, wherein I happened to have a handkerchief in my hand, and I said that this is my definition of sustainability. I can pull up 5 tissue paper towels when I go to the washroom, but carrying a handkerchief by myself is my simple way of living a sustainable life. So I leave you with that note, and I hope we all live together in a very sustainable environment and leave for our future generation. Thank you so much.